Hi folks, it's Maureen here. It is Monday the 8th of November. Um so I think the last time I was on here was September. So I've got a little bit of catching up to do for the last few weeks. Yeah. I will apologise in advance for the lighting. It is atrocious. It is currently 10 to 3 in the afternoon and it just hasn't got light at all today. I'm tried with various lights and it just looks rubbish. But if I leave it until we actually have a sunny day again, yeah, it'll be about May before I get to ever do any more. So I thought, no, just let's go ahead and just do this just now and we'll plod on. So, my hair's annoying me. Sorry if you're new here, sorry, I'm Maureen, I'm doing cross stitch stuff, talking about cross stitch, that's it. That's all you're getting. Yeah, so I have got a finish today. An actual finish, an actual real life finish. One finish and some whips, and the usual stuff. So I will start with this because it's a heaven and earth finish. It's not just any finish. Let me just put that out there. Not just any old run of the mill finish. It's a heaven and earth finish. Full coverage finish. Okay, it's a mini, but their minis are still ridiculous. So this is obviously my captive. You will have seen this numerous. If you've watched me before, you've seen this numerous times. This is my mini captive, and oh my god, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. So that is her. Finishes that charge. It's Marta Dalig. Is who is the artist. So yeah, so I finished this in September. I took it with me to the stitching retreat, which was in the beginning of October. So I finished it a couple of weeks after that. And I have no idea when I started it. Years ago. I don't really keep track of I do so many things. So many whips. But anyway, she is just gorgeous. So this has been, don't have washed her. I think she was actually okay, and ironed and put away in the cupboard and brought back out again for this. I'm just gonna keep showing you because it's just so really lovely. And yeah, that's her. She'll get put away and add to the framing pile. I've only got about 3 things to frame, so she will get added to the framing pile. I'll hopefully try and do them next year, maybe. So yeah, sorry, just stitched 1/1 full cross on 32 count random beige fabric, which looks good. Nightmare to stitch on. Once you got into it, to be fair, once you get into it, this bit here was just I stitched this bit here, right, and it's rubbish. Looks awful. See, like here looks fine. Close up, it looks awful. See, trying to stitch that on that fabric, and then I was at the stitching tree, and I borrowed someone's magnifier, and I was like, just like to have a quick look through. I was like, oh my god, that's what that actually says. That's what that actually looks like. I'd missed so many stitches on. I was like, God, I wish I'd done this on a magnifier. It would look so much better, but hey ho. What's done is done. The dark bits on it were fine. The creams and like the colours it was same. I can tell I'm getting on a bit here. The next piece of market, that's baby samplers. It's unlikely they're ever going to see this, so I'll quickly just show this. I've just made a start. I've got 2 baby samplers to do. It's 2 of my husband's cousins. One's had a kid, one's having one this month. So we are doing, I thought I'll just do them both. It's a little Etsy number. I don't even know where, sorry, I don't even know who I bought it from. But it's a little Etsy number. You get a whole load of them. If you look up baby samplers on Etsy, you'll find them. So it's yellows and blues and greens because we are boy babies. Yeah, so I've done a little bit. And this was some 40 count linen that I picked up. It looks really cute. 40 count linen. It looks really cream, but it's actually quite yellow. Because this yellow here was actually charted for like a paler yellow than this, but it wouldn't have shown up because this is actually quite lemony. So yeah, I bought this for something else and then I didn't do it. So it fits both of them. So, and that took a wee bit of getting used to as well. I'm not a big fan of linen. I don't know why about linen. And I thought I would try 40 count, and it's fine once it's like once you get in your groove, it's good. So I'm gonna work on those. Aim to get those done for the end of the year. But no great pressure. One baby's already born, one's on its way. I probably won't. I don't know when we'll actually get to see them, so it's no great pressure. That's one to do. Oh, this was one I worked on in October. I think this might have been a WIPGO that came up. So it was to work on my, but I call it my houses because it's houses. But it is Verandas of South Battery by Barbara and Cheryl. I first saw this on Blitz Stitch and I loved it. But see, when you actually measure, it's absolutely massive. So I am doing that side. Right? Yeah, I'm doing from that side down. No, I think I've only ever worked on it like 2 days or something like that. And then, like, I started it like a year ago, and that's just like the only time I've ever pulled it out. Yeah, because as you'll see, I have fabric for it, and that's essentially half of it. So that's why I was like, no, I'll chop some houses off. So that's me starting at the kind of 2-layer one, and then we got up to the 2-story one, and then we got up to the 3-story ones. Yeah, it's coming out quite cute. Again, this is just random fabric. No, this is even weave, sorry. Even weave. But it's just like a random piece of fabric. So again, that'll just go into the pile of, my aim is every year to work on every piece I have at least once a year. So there's no grand plans for that. It's just a nice little piece to work on. I have been thinking about next year about what to do. I've got a couple of plans. I think my plan is I'm going to get out my big, now that I've finished Captive, and I'll be finished to stitching on my chatelaine. Next year I'll start on my big Cartographica because that's my other big ass project to work on. I'm going to try and get 10% of it done. Like, I'm at 9.something%, so I'll get that. So I'll get up to 20%. And then maybe do, I think then I'm going to do 22,000 stitches in 2022, but I'm just going to do them on every full, not on all my full coverage pieces. I divide the amount of full coverage pieces I have into 22,000 and work an even number so that everything's getting worked on again, but not like on a monthly basis, just like do it. So it'll work out about like I've got about 17 pieces, so it'll work out about like 1,200 or something stitches in each piece. So I'll just do that and just do it. I've done it in a wee spinner, you know, the little random spinner things that are Tiny Decisions, the Tiny Decisions app, and just do that and do it. Some of them will that'll not take that long to do it, and some will take a bit long. And I thought, no, we'll just do that and we'll see how that goes. Everything gets a little bit of love. And then through the year, and then I can just pick on all stuff through the year. I want to try and get some finishes. Like, I've got a lot of little small ones that I've been kicking around for a bit. So I want to have a look at them and try and get some of them finished. And yeah, you know, not really planning any new starts, I'll be honest. That's not something that's jumping out at me at the moment. So we'll see. Well, actually, I'd say I'm not planning new famous last words. I'm planning new sets, but I've seen quite a lot of nice little small ones in that I want to stitch. So I really want to get the monthly pieces, some of those ones finished so I can start some more small. But bigger ones, I'm not feeling it for bigger ones at the moment. So this was another, I think this was the other WIPGO that got called for October. This is my, oh, I'll just show you. You get the same thing. Here. Faces of Fairy 162. Jasmine Beckett Griffith, of course, Heaven and Earth. And this was another Whitco piece that got pulled this month. So I was kind of random with this. Now that I've got Pattern Keeper, the delights of Pattern Keeper, you don't have to, you can just kind of go where the, oh, I can't remember that song. Going where the sun keeps shining. Through the pouring rain. That's the one. No one knows my name. Yeah, so I just did, this is actually come down onto her face. And some more of her hair, and yeah. So I think I probably did like 1,000 stitches. That's why my kind of aim is, I'll just do 1,000 stitches so that it gets in. But yeah, this is cool. This is on, like, this is one of the bigger ones. This is on 28. No, it's either 18 count or 20 count. I can't remember which one. Magic Guide. I did my other Rapunzel one. I did a story Keep Rapunzel, Jasmine Beckett, and I did it on a bigger one, and I think it suits the kind of cartoonish look. Again, that's just because. What's this? What's this one? Where's this? This is, oh, TARDIS. Tilton Crafts TARDIS. I can show you in black and white, because quite frankly, there's not much of it. There's black and blues. Where all this grey is blue. Lots and lots of shades of blue. So yeah, this is not very exciting. This was my full coverage piece. I think it was for, I don't remember if it was sci-fi or one of them was traveling. Like, you know, it's TARDIS. Traveling time and relative dimension. Time and relative dimension in space. But they travel around the universe. Yeah, so it's not very exciting to look at. There's a lot of blacks and a lot of blues. And that's pretty much it. Eventually it will, so eventually might get a bit more interesting. But no moment, not very much occurring in that one. Yeah, new Doctor Who, watched that last night. And yeah, I like it. I like John Bishop. John Bishop's quite good. But of course, big news is it's going to be a new, who's going to be the new Doctor Who, and what's his face is coming back. Russell T Davies. That's the right person, isn't it? He's coming back. So that'll be good. And I was saying to my son today, my son's going to be 18 next year. Big Doctor Who fan. I was like, what do we want to do for your birthday, Christmas and birthday? And we're all, he's not really like a stuff person. Like, I'm not like a stuff person, like just buying stuff for no reason. So I said to him, will we do a trip? We'll do a trip somewhere. Because we're owed 2 birthdays, still owed 2 birthdays. Both his last birthdays, they like were missed because it was February and our country wasn't allowed to do anything. So I had been in London last week, and I'd noticed on the tube they had the adverts up for I think it was called the Time Fracture. I think it's like an immersive Doctor Who experience thing. And I was like, well, we could do that. Go to London and do that. Or I said we could go to Cardiff and do like the whole Doctor Who tour thing. Like you can go to the beach, if you know what I mean. You go to the Bad Wolf Beach. So might do that, because ideally he would love to go to Utah. He wants to go to Utah because it was bits filmed in Utah. I'm like, oh, this is actually, we could go. As of today, we are allowed back to America. I was like, that's maybe a step too far. We'll just stick to Cardiff or the UK. So I've said, you have a think about that and let me know. We'll do that for your Christmas and your birthdays. So I look forward to that. Right, sorry. Total random, but I do like a bit of Doctor Who. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you'll know what I mean. Now this was, I worked on this one, and I'll be honest, I can't remember why I worked on this one. Was this, let me look, just a book of notes. October. Right, okay. I've been talking nonsense to you. Right. Faces of Fairy was a whip go from September. This was the whip go from October. Yeah, I think the last time I filmed it was like the middle of September. So I worked on spring, which is number 2, because we have winter, spring, summer, autumn. I think I filled it in. I did about 1,300 stitches, essentially to bring me up to 25%. So all of these are at least 25%. They're not exactly 25%, they're maybe a little bit 26%, but they are all at least a quarter done. So, still loving it. Still loving it. So yeah, so these are, for your information, these are Story Keeps Labyrinthine. So the 4 seasons, Stephanie Law. So I chose, they come as separate, they all came separately, but I chose to do it all as one because I thought that looked pretty damn nice. So yeah, I really like these. As you'll see, so they're all variations on a theme. You'll see, so there's little, it'll make more sense once they're all done because it's like a tree, I think. Yeah, so what did I say? That was October. Yeah, so that was that. Yeah, and I was meant to do, and then in October, actually, no, I actually started 2 things. No, I started one thing and then deleted it and such. And then I went to have a new start. I decided not to do it. So the start I started was a wedding sample I was doing for a wedding to go to the end of November. And I started, and it was a Rennie Mackintosh Rose, and I thought that was really appropriate because we're the weddings in at the House for an Art Love in Glasgow. And I did it, and then I just didn't like it. I was like, I knew I felt it was out of proportion. The rose was too big for the piece of fabric, and so I did, because I was doing it over 2, but if I'd done it over 1, it'd have been too small, and I just was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't want to do it. I honestly don't like this. It was really tight on the fabric, and I was like, this is not doing it for me. Not doing it for me. So I stopped it. I actually unpicked it all because I really liked the fabric it was on. So they're getting some euros instead because they asked for euros. So I was like, well, you can get some euros. I don't have time to start fanning about trying to do something else and rushing to do it. It's just not getting done. So it didn't. I'm getting quite brutal now. It's like, if I don't like something, and then I went to start my full coverage Fanatics piece for October was going to be a new start. Should have been. It's Undine or Undine. I don't actually know how to say it. It was an Amy Stewart piece. It was a lady on a beach. It's a mythical kind of thing. And I had planned all this from last year. I did the fabric cut and everything like that, and I got it all out, and I picked up some threads, and I went to look at it and went, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to stitch on this. I don't want to do it. I've had it in my stash for years. I've always waited to an opportunity to do it. But when I actually got around to doing it, I was like, just not feeling it. Just not feeling it. I feel like I think maybe just because I just finished Captive and it's another lady, I'm like, I've got a lot of these and I'm just not feeling this. I don't know. Yeah, and I think also, see when I put it into Pattern Keeper and the whatchamacallit, the mock-up. The mock-up of it came out. There's a lot of sky and everything like that, and I didn't like the mock-up, and I think that was what swayed it for me, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't want to do this. So I just didn't. I was like, right, okay, that fabric is getting put away. I think I had like a paper copy. I've got everything on PDF, obviously, but I have paper copies. I could chuck PDF. I just flipped paper and went, that's it, it's gone. It is out of my brain. I've moved the PDF into my little folder of ones that I don't want to do at the moment. And that's it. I've got a lot of those. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but you buy things and you go, I'll buy that. And then look at it and then you go, why did I buy that? Really? What was going through my head that day? Because it's really not, I don't want to do that. So excuse me. So that was it. So let me see. I think yeah, so let me just check. Right. Oh. Sorry, I did write stuff down here. Captive, spoke about Tortoise, spoke about Faisy, spoke about Spring, spoke about House. Do a lot of piece of my Shetland, but unfortunately it's down the stairs and so it's not coming out. I'll get it out next time. Because next time it should be finished. Oh my god, I'm trying to do one side of it right, and it's just, this is the 4th time I've done this bit, and I'm messing it up. I can swear that, but I'm not swear. I'm making such a hash of it. I'm like, what is wrong with me? I've done this another 3 times, and I am so out of sync with it, and it's just, yeah, finished. Yeah, so what did we do in October? So October had stitch and retreat. Yes, I think must have probably spoke about that last time. In the stitching, we had the proper stitch and 3-day stitch and retreat in Glasgow. That's not Glasgow, it's Cumbernauld, but for the sake of logistics, it's Glasgow. And oh yeah, it was just so good seeing everybody, because it was when we got there, something else. I was like, I've not seen some of these people for like 2 years, because like we were talking, like at the last retreat we were talking about, I was talking about getting Rosie the dog, and I was like, oh my god, she's like just turned 2, because I've seen some people at day retreats, but not all the people live further afield. I hadn't seen for like 2 years. So yeah, so it was so good just catching up. But the first day we hadn't been able to get into the sewing room till like that evening, so we just sat in the bar all afternoon. So we didn't get much stitching done that Friday night. I think I got to about 11 o'clock. I was like, I need to go to my bed. But I'll tell you this, I got more stitching done than Angie Key. Not saying anything of that woman. I think she managed 100. I think she managed about 200 stitches. She wasn't allowed to go to her bed till she'd done 100 stitches. So I did more than that. Probably not much more. You know how it is with these things. You get everything out, you sit and talk to everyone, then you put it all away again. But yeah, no, it was so good catching up again. So like, oh, excuse me. So we will be back at that, and I think it's like the first weekend in March. So I need to try and lose like 3 stone before I go back, so I can put on like a stone, because oh my god, I just ate so much. I had to be honest, I felt so ill to the rest of that week. I was like, okay, Martin, that was just sheer piggery on your part. That teaches you. You felt wrong. So we'll go back to that in March, and then I'm going, but we're planning a little day one, myself and our Ayrshire cross stitchers. And we're going to try and book, I've just got to book the room. I need to actually go and do that today. At one of the local, it's a local primary, and they've got conference rooms there, so that should be quite good. For Christmas, like just after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year, because quite a lot of people are off at that point, and we're like, well, that's quite good for anybody that doesn't want to wait till, going to wait till March. So just have a wee day retreat, which is always quite nice, just to catch up with people. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go and get that booked today or tomorrow. So that was it for stitch and retreats. It is just such good fun. I mean, I'm really fortunate in that I live, and especially now because we're the ones that Donna originally organised. Now it's going to be not Donna, and it's not Donna that's organising it anymore. And I've completely it's Maggie. I do apologize. I'm like, what's her name? I'm like, oh, I was like, I don't know why I just said her name was Mary. I'm like, it's not Mary, it's Maggie. Maggie is doing it for next year, but anyway, neither here nor there. Yeah, really fortunate, because it's like an hour from it takes me an hour and a bit. Sometimes it depends on the day. Yeah, and we're just so fortunate that it's like just up the road. Because like I've been to one for the ones that it's fine if I go down to like Yorkshire and that. If I go down to see Ali and that's about 4 hours, that's fine. And there was the one time I did it at Crewe. I don't know, sure like Crewe was as far down as it was, and it just kept going and going and going, and it meant on the sun, like when you're going down there, I can't remember if I went down on the Thursday, Friday, but it really meant on the Sunday you were like, okay, I'm getting up and going home, because it's like 6-7 hour journey back on the road. So it's just like, ugh. But yes, I'm really fortunate that we've got one. And it's such a nice crowd of folk. I'm not just saying that because some of them watch this. They are actually genuinely quite nice. And it's nice because there's a mixture of kind of old and new. There's always a few new faces there, so it's always nice to see new Stitchers. Anyway, enough waffling about that, I think. So, yeah, so where am I at November? So, yeah, I'm going to have another new start this month because it was just happened the way the full coverage monthly ones come up. And I am going to start this one. I am genuinely going to start this one. This is Mini Lavender Field. It's just chart signed by Michelle Saeta, which will give you an absolute rubbish picture, but if you can imagine, it's a lavender field. Purple. This is purple. Or lavender, to be more precise. And then a nice sun. And I really do like this one, and I'm really going to start this. I'm quite excited to start that one. And I'm just planning to finish my chatelaine. Chatelaine, I'm nearly finished it. Stitch some more in the baby sampler. A couple of whip goes for this month. What was it? Cooled up. Oh yeah, my little Snowflower Diaries freebie month. I'll do some work on May. And my, I think, is it Shakespeare Peddler? I just realised I'm not doing it in here. Oh no, I tell I do. It is Shakespeare's Peddler. Jenny Bean Halloween sampler. But even good if that came out last month, wouldn't it? And this is stitched on some sparkles. Oh, I forgot how good this looks on this fabric. This was some fabric of the month I got from Sparkles a long time ago. And I really knew what to do with it. And then I did it for this. Oh, look how good that looks. It's black. Again, not done a whole lot of stuff on there. Yeah. It looks pretty good on there. Love me a bit of Sparkles fabric, I must admit. It's so nice to stitch on, and the colours are so nice. It's just so nice. So nice. So nice. So yeah, do a little bit in that. Yeah, that's it. Otherwise, no, what's happening? I went to London last week, which was nice. Me and my sister went to London. Went to Buckingham Palace to see the Queen. No, we actually did quite a lot. Went to a lot of I saw bits of London I hadn't actually seen before. I always seem to end up at Buckingham Palace and all that, but so we deliberately went over to Kensington Palace this time. We still did a bit of royalty. Went over to Kensington Palace this time, which was really nice because it shows you around Victoria's like apartments where she grew up and everything like that. That was really interesting. Princess Di's wedding dress was there, which was nice to see. She was tiny though. See when you actually see it though, and you're like, holy crap, man. I mean, she was very tall, but she was tiny when you see it, like tiny little waist. So we saw that. I went over to the St Paul's. Got the bus over to St Paul's and walked from St Paul's down over the river to Tate Modern and back along into town. From there, went to see a play. Went to see Witness of the Prosecution, which is the Agatha Christie play, which is set in a courtroom, and it was in a courtroom. They've used the old courtroom from the London County buildings, which is down by the London Eye. Big, huge, fancy courtroom. I mean, just perfect. What I was like, saw in the reviews, like, why didn't I think about this before? You know, it's set in a courtroom, and it was in the courtroom, and it was so good because there was not that, it wasn't, it wasn't that big, and just it was just really good. So you did feel like you were in court. They had the jury there and everything. It was really good. And we were lucky. We just managed to get a couple of tickets. Like we had come up. I knew it was on, and I'd known where it was, and then happened to end up walking by there, and I was like, "Clearly, I don't want to just go in and just check and see if they've got any tickets." And they did. So got some nice half-price tickets because it was just like 4 o'clock on the Saturday. So yeah, if you're ever in London, go and see that. It was really good. Yeah. It was just nice to be away, and London was really busy, but people were still wearing masks, thankfully. Yeah, that's it. Right, I'm at half an hour enough waffling. I'll see you again if you like it. Give me a little like. Comment if you want. No biggie. I'll be back at some point when I've got something more interesting, when I easily get the house to myself so I can I managed to do half an hour uninterrupted. And the lighting's crap, but it was the best I could do. I better get back and do some work now. Right. Cheery bye.